You just got walking down, Joey. Big shit. Big shit, cabrón.
We're still killing a lot of his stuff though.
Wait, can you hear it? Oh man, this whole time I've had my mic on. I didn't even know. That's supposed to be turned off. That should be better. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Yeah. This whole time I was talking and no one could hear me because I turned my sound down. Thank you, Odai. I just found out. I just found out. So, yep, invalid color name. It couldn't convert the color that I gave it into a name, which makes complete sense. Which means I might have to do some logic in my player to get them to be a different color. Since modulate won't work, I wonder if I can convert the I can't really convert the color that way. Or actually I don't know until I Google, really. You know, convert color to color name. I don't think I can. Capital N. Is that better? Yeah, I just don't think it goes that way. So I'm gonna write a little bit of logic here, just an if statement. Checking the ID so I can pass in the right color. So we'll call vol color equals color in. We'll just name white. Alright, so if the ID is equal to 1, meaning it's player 1, then we're going to set color equal to color in. We're going to set it to green. I think I have green and orange going on. Let me pull up another useful tool. I kind of like the colors I was using on my Google Drive, and they seemed very vibrant. Wow, the levels. Let that load for a second. There we go. Let's go look at level 1. Yes, so like a golden color and like this dark green. And you know what? I think I can find the color codes here. Yeah. Dark green. Dark green is a color, yeah. And gold is probably a color also. So we'll use those instead. Else, meaning it's player 2, we're going to set color equal to gold. We're going to check what kind of gold we have. It's probably goldenrod. But it doesn't hurt to check. Control F, gold. What kind of gold? Yep, we have gold and goldenrod. So I'm just going to choose goldenrod. I think that'll come out to be pretty nice. And then now, down here, instead of this, I can put color because it's going to be a string. Now when I rerun it, let's go ahead and play. Let's go ahead and kind of play it. Okay, I'm bored. Let's pause it and go eat a sandwich. I pause it. Okay, I have some colors going on. I may have to convert those to a string. Yeah, it didn't like those colors. I wonder. Oh, you know what? Yeah, what am I doing? Like, I'm trying to convert colors over here. This will just be a string. It understands strings, so why not just give it a string? Let's be smart about this. There we go. While that loads up, I'm going to check the chat. Alright. Everything's all good. We can play. Okay, I'm having too much fun. We pause it, and then we unpause it, and it creates a dude. Which means things are working. There's probably a guy right here too. He just isn't seen. So, pause it again. Pause, unpause. Oh man. What bugs? I think it's because I have multiple players, honestly. I'm gonna restart it. I'm gonna see what the other color looks like. I'm gonna pick up the other controller and use the other player and move him around a little bit. Alright. Aw, all it did was create one player. Player 2, Eddie 2, player 2, type 2. Meh. Maybe I already had him at the right color. Maybe I already set him to goldenrod. I don't think I did, but maybe since I didn't spell it wrong either. But I do know one thing. I need to get rid of those players before I put them back. So let's go look at my world script. Getting better at this. So we save and we go to level 1, no, -1, which is our pause screen. And when we hit pause again, if it is paused, then we're going to create a new level. Yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm clearing the grid before I do like the things. You know what? This seems like this can get elevated. When I pause the game, regardless, or not regardless of what happens, I need to save. Now that I think about it, having clear there kind of sounds kind of weird. What if I put it there? Before I was clearing and then trying to get the children from the grid. I'm actually surprised that worked. Yep, still multiple children. But now I can clear the grid again, and I want to do it before I create the level, or after I create the level. So create the level from JSON, and then we start populating the guys in that level again. You know what? I'm thinking, so in my grid, when I go to a level, which is called here, like when we go to the start, it goes to level 1. We clear the board before we go to that level. But we don't do that same thing with the pause. Actually, pause isn't even up here. And I don't think I'm listening to pause either. I have to be careful about that. Yeah. So it would go in here if I'm paused. Create the level from, yeah, I don't care what's on the board. I just want to clear it off. Control V. Clear it because I'm grabbing new stuff and adding it on. So that should get rid of the duplicate players on in the play space. Pause. There we go, and I got one guy to show up, but my other guy is not showing up. Okay, there he is. He moves here. He exists. But where did he go? Okay, it looks like I'm only saving one player. That's what it says down here. Man, I keep pointing at the screen, but down here I'm only saving one player. I can see it down here. So I need to make sure that I'm saving both players, or like everything. Save everything on the grid and then clear. You know, I thought it was because I was getting the children, but apparently not. Or
What I'm short.
let's check this out. So I pause, and we got both of the people, and we cleared the board. And then when we unpause, only one player shows up. Pause. Or so like, let's say I was playing and I got over here. Yep. Yep, you persist. I need both of you. I need everybody to persist. See, why isn't everybody persisting on the world? Interesting. So I'm gonna go over to the remote. I'm gonna pay attention to the things that are in the grid. Player 1, player 2 in the start tile. I can add more things by just going into the level. Look, there's just a bunch more things. Player 1, player 2, and just a bunch more things. But when I pause, player 1 and player 2 are still there. Or these feel like new player 1s and a new player 1 and a new player 2. Yeah, I've made 3 separate copies of player 1 and player 2. So I'm gonna make sure to write down which ones I have. So there, before we start, it's just player 1 and player 2. Okay. Now when I go into the game, oh, wrong thing. I have a different set of player 1 and player 2. These guys have @ symbols now. 1 @ or they have different names, it looked like completely. Whoa, 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 let me start over that. I saw that. That looked a little sneaky. That's a sneaky bug. So yeah, okay, no, player 1 and player 2 is spelled out. Okay. Okay, great. Doing good. And now I have a completely different set of player 1 and player 2. Player 1 @ player 2. Player 1 and player 2. And when I hit pause, I go back to having... So this is on level 1. This is at the start of the game. This is when we're paused. We have player 1 and player 2 again without the @ symbol. Next, when I unpause, I now have player 1, 2. Ah. So unpause. So one thing I definitely have to fix, I can't append the ID to these guys because I'm using their full names, especially in the JSON. Player 1 like that, and player 2 like that. Which makes me kind of want to change it. In the JSON, I wonder what happens if I change it in the JSON. This is how I get down a long path. Or rather, yeah, in level 1 it's player 1 and player 2, or here we go. Let's make those match. Player 1, player 1, player 1, player 1. Let's make sure that every level has the same way of calling them. I'm going to call them with numbers at the end. Hopefully fix that. Hopefully that doesn't give me any weird stuff either. So let's redo that. So before, now, in the remote, the live game, player 1 and player 2 like before. Alright. Things are looking good. Player 1 at... Okay, so player 1 at 2 and player 1 at 3. Which is wrong. And I think that's... Say, I'm just loading level 1. I'm going to make sure that my JSON parser... Yep, I'm grabbing the name. If it has a name, saying the name is equal to the name. Player 1, player 1, player 2, player 2. Player 1, player 1, player 2, player 2. Player 2. Okay. And the reason I think that they're getting that name mingled at sign at the end when I load it in is because those already exist, which should not be the case. So I'm going to check starting in the grid when I do all the logic for when I step on these tiles. You step on the tile, you step on the start tile, it should clear the board and then go to the main menu. Or let's start, clear the board and then go to level 1. And clearing removes all of my children. It doesn't matter. All of them should go away. So what I'll do is I'll put in the world I'll put a breakpoint. I want to make sure that my grid at this point has no children, so I won't be duplicating my children. Breakpoint. Okay, yep, let's continue. Game runs. Pull up remote. Grid player 1 and player 2. Perfect. Start. Player 1 and player 2 should be removed from the grid. I guess they don't get removed until later, which is a little odd. So we step over this. We step over this. Oh gosh, where am I going? Continue. Man, okay, player 1 and player 2 exist, but they have these super naming ones, and when I go to pause, I feel like I'm saving different ones. I am, because I'm grabbing them from a pause level instead of... I'm not grabbing these ones and moving them where they need to be. That's what's conflicting. Okay. Let's think about this for a second. How am I gonna either grab these or parse out all the garbage that gets attached to these names when these guys get created? I think the best thing for me to do would be to try to parse out all of this garbage before they get created, and I want to do that by clearing the grid again. I could have sworn I did it. Well, I did do it, but I want to check now when I going to make those guys if they're still going to persist. I hope not. Or oh, I could put in a yield function and say, hey, the game must wait until this is done. Oh man, I think I went past the point of return. Let me restart that. I should have been paying attention to the remote. I'm looking to make sure that I'm not getting these guys, these name-mingled names. Okay, grid. My guys are still name-mingled. Fine. No, not fine, because when I pause, I go and save. So yeah, instead of clearing the level here also, I don't think I need to do that. I need to go into the grid and ensure that they're gonna go away when you go to level 1. I think that's how yield works. Expect an argument after yield. I don't know how you work yield, so I'll have to look you up. How do you work? So yield takes in an object, and a signal stops the function execution and returns the current suspended state to calling function. Returns the argument passed to the mixed signal if the signal takes only one argument, or if the array containing all arguments passed to the mixed signal if the signal takes multiple arguments. Oh, and now when I'm thinking about it, I see something that I'm doing that is possibly causing this. When I go and free all my children, I'm giving the control over to the game and say, you free these whenever you feel like it. But what I actually want is to say, I need you to free all of these children right now. So let's go look at some free functions. There's qFree and there's free. They come from this similar family of methods. Destroy the object from memory. Yep, just straight up free. Probably just a wrapper around the C version of free Q. I'm gonna look to see if Q exists. I can't. Okay, call deferred is queued for deletion. Turns to Q method if it was called for. Yep. Okay. Okay, I just want to call free. Free these objects. These need to go right now. Now let's see what type of shenanigans I'm getting. Attempt to free a locked object, calling or emitting. Okay. Objects is locked and cannot be freed. So I need to do on-demand freeing of objects. Move to Godot. Remove child. Versus no, there's a remove child node. Apparently. Freeing objects. I don't want to do that. I just want to remove them when I feel like it. So I'm gonna go check up on this remove child. Call deferred free instead of. What are you saying?
It turns into a spaceship instead of truck. And it is piloted by a British space cop on a robot horse, a space bounty hunter cowboy, basically
Child
Speed
call
Racer,
deferred free. I'm gonna
and
try
the
that
woman who
first.
invented
And
the
I don't think it's
car.
gonna work. Oh man. I can probably copy this like completely. No worries. Control V. Hey. Work, darn it. Clear the board. We're gonna get there. I hope it doesn't say it's blocked. Okay, it cleared the board. No issues there. Alright. Let's go check out before I pause the game. What kind of guys do I have on the board? Still have these guys on the board. So that worked very similar to Q free. Not what I want. I wonder what remove child node child. And while I still have a handle on the child, yep, child dot q free. Yep, actually I'll just do all this. I'll go ahead and just remove the child. Let's go check it. Remove a child. No, this is not deleted. It must be deleted manually. Yep. I just don't want to see it in my scene tree ever again. I want to be able to add another thing and not worry that it's going to have a different name. Oh, wrong thing. Getting back to the game. Okay, moving around in the remote. Hey, look, it's player 1 and player 2. Okay, and we go and pause the game. Alright. Unpause. I still get only one guy. Still not so sure. Well, I feel kind of sure about that. That might just be an event, the way I'm handling the event. But that's one thing down. That's one thing down. They at least have the same name. Now I need to figure out why I'm only getting player 1 and not player 2. I wonder what happens if I pause with player 2. Player 1, only player 1 hits the board. I'm only saving player 1. Oh, you know what? It might just be because of where I'm pausing. You know where I'm pausing? Right here. when the ID is guaranteed to be only player 1. I need to move it outside of this. But if I do, another bug rears its head, right? Right? So, well, for one, I'll try it. For one, I'll try it because I wonder if it'll bring back an old bug. If it does, get I'll get rid of it again. But if it doesn't, then we're good to go. I see. Yeah, when I pause, I just need to save both players, player 1 and player 2. Yeah, that's really it. Oh man. Let's watch the magic. Okay, player 2 has chosen to pause the game, and player 2 has unpaused the game, and can no longer do anything, and has locked up the game. Got it. Nope, not liking that. I'm gonna keep that there. I just have to make both of them right here. You know what? I'm gonna do that. That's fine with me. Player indicator 1. For the other ones, it'll be a lot better. Since there's only one thing, there's not any of this cross-compiled code. Oop, I'm getting a call. Excuse me. Hello. I'm sorry, I'm at school. My phone had died and I had to wait for it to recharge. It is. Hey, let me. Okay. 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 Let's see. I'll be done and over at home soon. And I am back. I didn't. I just had to take a quick phone call. Oh, and I'm gonna have to wrap this up soon too. But I feel like I'm getting really close to solving my problem of like being able to pause, save the game in between pausing. It's just this event right here, which I think I can listen to like this. If I try to listen, well, yeah, input connect. Let me see. Ah, man, I'm thinking about. It's not really a signal. Is my problem. It's an event set up in the input map. So pausing much more difficult than I thought it was going to be, for sure. There we go. What do I want to do? Because I want to be able to save both players. Well, I can. One thing I can do is I can guarantee that both player 1 and player 2 are in the level, so I can just grab them both in this variable right here. Doing duplicate code. It's a get parent. Get node. Now that I know that they have the same name, I can call them by name. Nope, it's gonna be player 1. And the same thing with this one, but player 2. They're guaranteed to be in a level. So I know I can grab them both. And yep, I'll keep the color. And what I'll do inside of here, this will be name indicator 1 dot name. And this will be, say this is the grid. You'll be getting the position of the name indicator 1. Same thing down here. Not going to change that. Decided to optimize another time. ID. Let's see. Type is this fine. File name is fine. The name or yep, name indicator name, and then this is gonna have the same thing. Name indicator 1 name. Hey man.
So
I'm just solving some problems that I set myself up with in the beginning of the stream, where I have both of my players being controlled from one script, which is causing me to have like this sort of parallel programming problems.
you have both players in one script?
Yes. Yeah, cause like, oh, they're doing the same thing, might as well.
Both players in the same script.
Yep. And it's biting me in the butt already.
Like a for loop?
Like just this input. I set
player 1 left, player 2 left. Like, what do you mean?
Like I have two nodes or two objects that have the same, that are using the same script for their logic, but it'll branch off depending on which ID is being used for it, for that object.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the worst, honestly. Game, like, no. It's not the worst, especially for a solo project. You need to work efficiently, and the most efficient path usually isn't
the best path.
Isn't the, well, there's no good. The good is only to every specific project. So you're doing the right thing, except that it's not working out as it from what it sounds like.
It's just giving me bugs. So like, I knew this bug was gonna happen. I did this to myself. Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting though. Yeah, definitely ID-based scripts on the same component makes it mega hard. You could.
I think
that's interesting.
I could go back. What I should do is go back and change it so that I'm not doing that. To be honest. and the longer that I wait on doing it, the bigger hole I dig myself into.
Yeah, you could make a third file with the common functionalities and make two components.
Yes.
That uses the third file for the commonalities. Thanks.
Yeah, very inheritance wise, probably, or like
Just reuse,
yeah.
Like you're probably just reusing a function or two in there, and then the rest is very specific.
Yeah. We'll see. If I get any bugs, you can see like these are the things that I'm coming across because I have 2 players, or I just fixed it, which would have been nice.
Look at the feedback. Holy shit.
Okay, pausing the game. Okay. And then they both should show up. Yes. Awesome.
Where's the map though?
Yeah, I gotta put the map back.
Okay.
What I was working on was
Dope.
pausing. I could pause the game, but I wanted a menu to show up, so I had to clear the board. But before I could clear the board, I had to save everything up there. So now that everything is saved, I can load it back.
Kellen? No.
Kieran.
Kieran. So Kieran.
Nice. I'm gonna have to go soon, actually.
I still don't know how you keep this thing up. Like,
You ju-
Digipen is definitely hammering you in the butt right now, and you find an hour to like just stream the game with it.
Oh man, I'd say my other game, my actual game project, has been going pretty nice too. Let's say for that I've been learning more CMake. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, that's my dad,
Oh,
and that's
hey.
a coworker.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Yeah, I had to learn a bunch about CMake today because we were using client and a server, and the strongest programmer in our team wrote this server. It looks super nice and super clean, and then I wrote the client, and it doesn't look like his server, so I had to go back and make it look the same. Yeah, but I'm glad I got that working. Oh man, I'm gonna have to wrap up. I have to go meet my friends at a haunted house. So
I just heard that.
so I hope you have a good night, and thank you for watching.
Where's the haunted house?